Today, we begin with a war that may shape not only the Middle East, but the future of the American Republic. The Trump administration has launched what I call Operation Epstein Fury, a sweeping assault on Iran that killed the country's supreme leader and struck more than 2,000 targets. 4 Americans are dead from retaliatory attacks. Civilians across the region are caught in the crossfire. Nearly 200 young people in Iran were reportedly killed when bombs hit a girls' school and a gymnasium. Congress didn't declare this war. There was no vote. The Constitution's clear that only Congress can take this nation into war. The War Powers Resolution requires notification and approval and an actual attack on America, which didn't happen. Instead, we have a unilateral decision that has set the region ablaze. James Madison warned us that war is the greatest enemy of liberty because it expands executive power and erodes democracy. He wrote that no nation can preserve its freedom in continual warfare. When a president claims authority to assassinate foreign leaders and ignite conflict without Congress, that's not strength. It's a direct challenge to the constitutional order that defines America. In an interview with ABC News, President Trump said the strikes were so successful they eliminated all potential successors to Iran's supreme leader. He said nobody else could have done this but him. He claimed an Iranian insider reached out to negotiate, although he declined to identify that person. Among the confirmed dead are senior advisors, top commanders, and a former president. Iran has installed a temporary council. Its leaders say they will not negotiate. The president says the conflict could last for weeks. History teaches that decapitation strikes rarely end wars. They fracture power and unleash militias and proxy forces. We saw it in Iraq and Libya. When a president boasts that he alone can reorder a region, that's not a strategy. It's a gamble with American lives and global stability. The Pentagon has offered no public evidence that Iran posed an imminent threat. Reporting indicates the administration began constructing its legal justification after missiles were already in the air. There have been no detailed briefings and no intelligence presented to Congress. In a democracy, the burden of proof rests with those who send young Americans into combat. If there was an imminent threat, show it. If not, explain why this war was necessary. We cannot become a tool of political survival. When secret evidence replaces public debate, democracy is weakened. At the same time, a troubling development is unfolding here at home. ProPublica reports that senior administration officials attended a summit of election deniers, urging the president to declare a national emergency to take over the midterm elections this November. Federal officials responsible for election integrity and intelligence were also present. Draft orders reportedly circulating would ban mail-in ballots and eliminate voting machines under federal control. Activists argued that only the president can nationalize the vote. The Constitution gives states the authority over the elections, however. A president seizing control of the ballot would shatter 2 centuries of precedent. Combine a foreign war with talk of emergency powers over elections, and you see something more dangerous than partisanship. You see the architecture of authoritarianism. Democracy cannot survive when one person claims both the sword and the ballot. Finally, the administration is tightening an energy blockade on Cuba aimed at collapsing its government. Fuel deliveries are a fraction of what the island needs, and millions face water shortage. Food distribution is faltering. 5 million people with chronic illnesses are at risk as medicine supplies dwindle. The Cuban regime is repressive and has long denied its people freedom. But pushing a population toward humanitarian disaster is not a moral foreign policy. America's strength rests on aligning power with principle. So here we have war abroad, emergency powers at home, elections under pressure. The question before us is whether the United States will remain a constitutional republic governed by law or drift toward rule by decree. The founders feared concentrated power in times of war. Their warning echoes today. And that's the way it is today, Monday, March 2nd, 2026.